They say the internet belongs to everyone. Billions of us use it every single day. Streaming, scrolling, sharing, living our entire digital lives through a tiny glowing screen. But here's the secret no one talks about. It doesn't belong to you. In fact, the internet, the thing that connects the planet, is owned by a handful of powerful companies. Hidden beneath thousands of miles of ocean are the real veins of our modern world. Undersea cables, data centers, and digital fortresses that keep civilization running. And the deeper you look, the more you realize this isn't just technology. It's power, it's control, it's the new empire. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this video, because by the end, you'll see the internet the way billionaires and governments do, as a weapon and as gold. Let's start with a question. Where does the internet actually live? Most people imagine the cloud, but the truth? There is no cloud. There's just someone else's computer and a network of cables buried deep beneath the sea. Right now, nearly 99% of all international data, messages, emails, stock trades, your favorite YouTube videos, travels through undersea fiber optic cables. Thin glass tubes, no wider than a garden hose, stretching across oceans like veins in a living body. They carry petabytes of data every second, flashing pulses of light across continents faster than you can blink. And yet, hardly anyone knows who owns them. It's not governments, it's not the United Nations, it's not the people. It's private corporations, tech giants like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and a handful of telecom monopolies. They've quietly built their own global web, literally. Google alone owns or co-owns over 60,000 miles of submarine cables. Amazon is right behind them. Together they own more of the physical internet than most countries combined. So, when you type something into Google, the data doesn't just go online. It travels through their wires, into their data centers, through their servers and back to your phone. Under their control. Let's go beneath the surface. Imagine descending under the Atlantic Ocean. It's pitch black, freezing cold with crushing pressure. And there, lying silently on the ocean floor, is a cable the size of a garden hose. It stretches from New York to London. Every second it carries millions of emails, financial transactions, and government communications. Most of these cables are privately owned. When one company controls a cable, they control the flow of information that passes through it. They can prioritize, throttle, or even monitor traffic. Now imagine that multiplied by hundreds of cables across the globe. A secret network of arteries running beneath every ocean, built, maintained, and owned by a few corporations. This isn't science fiction. This is the real map of power. And the craziest part? Governments rely on those same cables for defense, diplomacy, and surveillance. So the very infrastructure that powers democracy is owned by private profit. If the cables are the veins of the internet, then data centers are its beating heart. Inside windowless warehouses the size of football fields, millions of servers hum day and night. They store everything. Your emails, your photos, your medical records, your financial data. Everything about you, your digital DNA, lives inside these fortresses. Companies like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure dominate this space. Combined, they host over 65% of the world's cloud infrastructure. It means that governments, banks, hospitals, schools, even startups, all rent space inside the same servers owned by the same corporations. They don't just store the internet, they own the infrastructure it breathes through. And if tomorrow one of these tech giants decided to flip a switch, a huge part of the global internet could simply disappear. That's the kind of quiet power they hold. The kind that doesn't make headlines but shapes our lives every second. Let's follow the money. Owning data cables and centers is just the start. The real control comes from interconnection, the points where networks meet. These are called Internet Exchange Points, or IXPs. They're like airports for data, where networks connect and trade traffic. Whoever owns the biggest exchange points controls the routes your data travels. And guess who owns them? The same giants, Google, Amazon, and Meta, are buying up IXPs worldwide. They decide whose data travels fastest, whose ads load quicker, and whose websites lag behind. In the early 2000s, the internet was decentralized. Anyone could build a website, anyone could connect. But now, the top 1% of companies control over 70% of all online traffic. It's no longer the World Wide Web, it's the corporate web. You've heard the phrase, data is the new oil. But it's not just a catchy slogan, it's the truth. Every click, every search, every second you spend online creates data, a resource more valuable than gold. But raw data isn't worth much on its own. What makes it powerful is who owns the pipelines, the cables, the servers, the algorithms that refine it. Just like oil companies built pipelines to control energy, today's tech empires have built digital pipelines to control information. They extract, refine, and sell your data, shaping your feeds, your choices, and your beliefs. Not through force, but through convenience. And the more you use their services, the more data they harvest, and the stronger their grip becomes. There's another layer to this story, one that feels almost like espionage. Every few months, mysterious reports surface about undersea cables being damaged or cut. Sometimes it's earthquakes, other times it's something far more deliberate. In 2022, several cables in Europe were mysteriously severed. Entire regions lost connectivity. The investigation quietly pointed to state-backed hackers, because whoever controls or destroys those cables can cripple economies, cut communication, or spy on global traffic. It's the new battlefield of the digital age. Forget missiles. The next war may be fought with fiber optics and code. Meanwhile, the race continues. Companies are laying new cables faster than ever, connecting Africa, South America, and the Arctic. Google's Equiano cable links Portugal to South Africa. Facebook's 2Africa project circles the entire continent, promising better connectivity. But remember, every new cable means new ownership, new leverage. These tech empires aren't just building the internet, they're carving it up. And soon, access to information could depend on who owns the route your data travels. There's a darker cost too, energy. Data centers consume about 3% of the world's electricity, and that number is rising fast. Some centers use as much power as entire cities, all to keep the internet always on. The same companies that promise a greener future are building digital fortresses that burn through unimaginable energy, cooling servers that never sleep. So when they say the cloud is clean, remember, there's no cloud without coal, gas, and concrete. So who regulates this digital empire? Technically, no one. The oceans where these cables lie belong to no single country. The corporations operate through shell companies, subsidiaries, and joint ventures, spreading control across borders so that no one can truly hold them accountable. Governments depend on them too much to intervene. Military communication runs on the same infrastructure, so the watchdogs have become the clients. That's how power hides, not in plain sight, but beneath it. We're entering a new era, where not just computers and phones, but everything is connected. Cars, homes, factories, even farms. That's the Internet of Things. And guess who owns the cloud those devices will depend on? The same players, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. They're not just owning the internet, they're owning reality itself. So what does this mean for you, for me, for everyone? It means the dream of a free, open internet is fading. It means every post, every message, every transaction passes through corporate hands. And yet there's hope. The very knowledge of who controls the system gives us power to demand change, to decentralize, to innovate outside their walls. Because the internet wasn't built for control. It was built for connection. Under the waves, inside the servers, behind the screens, the real internet hums quietly, unseen. It's older, deeper, and more powerful than we imagine. But remember this, the same light that travels through those cables can also illuminate truth. If enough of us understand how the system works, we can rewrite the rules. We can take back what was meant to connect us all. So before you scroll away, subscribe, like, and share this video. Because the next story we uncover might just change how you see the world again.